Hey everybody, welcome back to the Labs Comic Fan. I am Steve, and we're talking Loki Episode 5, Journey into Mystery. This is going to be a short one today, because we're going into the last episode. Everybody who would be watching this has seen it. You don't need me to tell you what happened. Let's just talk about what we think is going to happen in Episode 6. Now, I will say spoilers for Episode 5 in this episode because I will be talking about things that happen. But I do have one thing I want to say. I'm a part of a bunch of different Marvel groups. And while I love the fan base and I love interacting with people, there's a lot of toxic people out there that don't want creative people to even guess at what may or may not be happening. They hate when people theorize, they act, and then you talk to them and they're like, oh no, I just don't like it when people say, this is for sure what it is. It's like, so you don't like stupid people. I get it. Like, that has nothing to do with other people making guesses or having fun with the show. This is what they want you to do. I mean, this is how question answer shows have been working since the dawn of fucking television. So let's all relax for a moment and remember we're watching TV and these are not real world problems. Relax. If someone wants to say, I believe this is what it is and this is how it, for sure, they're just stupid, okay? They're just trying to rile you up. Nobody knows what's going to happen until that last episode airs, okay? So just, like Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other, all right? Fucking people, man. It's a show. This isn't real life. Relax. Okay, that being said, this is fun. This is what I like to do in my spare time. I did this for the TV show Lost. Me and my brother had a podcast. It was a lot of fun. The same thing happened with that. There was a lot of grading people, but there was also way more people that I liked that I didn't. So everybody just needs to calm their shit and enjoy the show, okay? So let's talk about the first things that are going around. A lot of the people think that it's behind the TVA is Kang. Now there are a lot of things leading to Kang. Alioth was in the newest episode. The side of the Stark Tower in the Void had QENG. That's Kang Enterprises, and that's owned by Kang. I know he goes by a different name. It's like Mr. Griffin or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't read any of those. That was during my heavy DC days. At least for whenever I would have had a chance to read them, whether they came out before I was reading or after, neither here nor there. There was a lot of Easter eggs in this episode. It was like, it really seemed like they were throwing so much shit at you to confuse you from where they're going. To me, there's 2 or 3 possible scenarios. Either A, it is Kang, and that would be cool. Or B, it's another Loki, because everything we've seen has been another Loki. And at first, I was not happy with there being multiple Lokis. It wasn't that I wasn't happy. I was more like, I didn't understand what they were doing. And once, I was fine with that, but I waited. They fleshed it out, and now I'm enjoying it. So, if it's another Loki, I don't know how I would feel about that, but it depends. There was a theory by someone that I know, my brother, that had talked about if it is another Loki, wouldn't it be interesting with everything that they're doing in these episodes with the changing, especially this past episode. We see Old Man Loki. They had made all this stuff about how they can't change. Every time they do, something bad happens or something blah, blah, blah. And he finally did. He found his glorious purpose by helping them get in past Alioth. He found his purpose again and redeemed himself. Wouldn't it be very interesting if Loki, our Loki, is offered a choice in that place to either A, be a ruler of all time and space and betray Sylvie? He would have to kill her. Or he stays with Sylvie, they whatever Loki love is going on there crushes all timelines, and now we have multiverses that can experience their own flow of time. That's interesting. And it also would come from what's in the show, the stuff that they had been hitting on: change, redemption. Sylvie asks, how do I know you're not going to just betray me? And it shows him making the sacrifices, staying in the void and not going back with Mobius and helping her. I mean, there's that, and it would show that our Loki is Loki. You know, he tricked her, abandoned all how much growth he had over this series. I mean, that would be, I'm sure a lot of people would be upset, but that's only because everybody wants to hug and kiss everything in the world now. That's just how it is. If he went back to being how he was, I don't know if it would take away the character growth, because he would be conflicted. Because while we've seen that he only wants absolute power and all this stuff, we've seen him grow and become a better character with Sylvie. This weird interdimensional love that they have for one another is quite interesting, and probably so vain that they're the only two that would allow each other to fuck each other. So there's that. Okay. Anyway, so those are the two main theories that I've heard that to me are plausible. The Kang one, the Loki one, offering Loki a choice, that type of shit. Those are the two that I could see happening, because Alioth falls into there. I know from from some research and stuff like that, and I went back and read a couple issues that I looked for Alioth. It seemed like Kang has like some dimension that he hides in. Now I could be wrong. Like I said, I only read certain issues, so if I'm wrong about the overall narrative, you could tell me. That's going to be a thing until I get fully back into continuity from 1998 till about 2015, I would say. You know, from 2015 to about now, there's things that I know I haven't read a lot, but I've followed a lot of different channels where if I hear of a story, I'm like, oh, that's the one that I watched, like Comics Explained, or this guy do. That's usually my go-to guy, because that's the man when it comes to this stuff. There's in my opinion, there's nobody better. You also have to look at it like this. The way that these shows work is they use these shows to flesh out characters that people like or haven't gotten as a just due. But the show itself also has to have a resolution within the show. It can't just set up the rest of whatever's coming out. It can do that, but it also has to have a resolution. That's the way television works. And with question, reveal types of shows, they have to have a question, which they do. Who's behind the TVA? There has to be a reveal. This is who's behind the TVA. Now, where that goes from there can lead into Doctor Strange. It could lead into the Ant-Man 2, because a lot of people think it's Kang. You know, there's so much pointing to Kang, which is why I think it's going to be Loki. Or, with the way this show has been going, so many people have theorized, but it's pretty much been what we've seen. You know, I remember episode 4, I had tons of theories like double enchantment, but no, it was exactly what we saw. So there's a lot of things that are there that could lead to it being Kang. And there's a lot of things leading to it just being another Loki. Maybe he got to the castle behind Alioth and, you know, he killed whoever was in there and started taking over from there. We don't know. That's the great thing. That's the cool thing about theorizing. Now, one of the things that is going to be really, really interesting with the end of this is where do we go from here? Where does the end of this lead into? I'm going to assume it's going to have something to do with Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. That's because we're seeing universe, and not for the villain. The reason why I'm saying that is this one's called Quantumania. This one's called the Multiverse of Madness. We're starting to see the multiverse. We're starting to hear more about interdimensional travel. We're starting to see more of those things. A lot of people think that the TVA exists inside the quantum realm. I don't know. If it does, cool. If not, that it plays no part to me, because I think after this, the TVA is going to be done. I mean, they might still exist, but it might be very different. We might find out in the multiverse that whether the TVA was right in who they were pruning, they were right in the fact that there needed to be one timeline, because this could be the next Avengers event that it leads to. That's the big thing that I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the repercussions of Loki will lead into the reason why we need another Avengers type team to battle a multiversal threat. Makes sense, but who knows? So those are the main theories. So let's talk about some of the Easter eggs in this. First of all, we're going to go out and talk about the Living Tribunal. That was a statue of the Living Tribunal's head. What it means, I don't know, but it was a living tribunal. No ifs, ands, or buts. 2, that was Throg. That was not a mini Thor. That was Throg, the frog Thor. On his bottle, it said T365. That was when Throg first appeared in Thor. I believe it was Almighty Thor. It could be the regular Thor publication, but I believe it's Almighty Thor 365. The Kang Enterprises talked about that. There was Yellow Jacket's helmet. It looks like it was like Giant Man or Goliath or whatever. The Kang Enterprises, one of the coolest ones after the throat was the Polybius cabinet, because that thing, the Angry Video Game Nerd has done stuff on it. There's tons of stuff on it. It's great. It's a good backstory. Go look it up. The Polybius arcade cabinet. People really thought that this was like a test for like CIA or for like, the black suit wearing people would come take you if you were really good at this game. It's like fucking Journey into Mystery was the name of the episode. First appearance of Loki, I believe. I know in the 50s and 60s they were in those comics, that brand of comics. There was more with the Oak Island Mystery. I'm not too familiar with that. There were the Thanos copter. The fucking Thanos copter, people. If you know any backstory with me, when I read that story and Thanos was in the Thanos copter, I was dying. Everybody knows that panel. So I went and sought that comic out. There's also other stuff where he gets arrested in New York in Spider-Man. I mean, before Thanos was really Thanos, he was hilarious, guys. He was hilarious. Who brands their own helicopter? That's vainness of badassery that I haven't seen in a long time. I could understand like a tycoon like Stark doing that, but Thanos, does he even have a building? He just was like, nah, spray paint. This is Thanos copter. Thanos copter. So, what did you guys think of Loki episode 5? I'm sure there's a lot of other episodes of people doing stuff out there that are going to be better than mine. I just wanted to talk about these theories. So what's my theory of what's going to happen? I'm leaning towards either the Kang or Loki theory. I don't want to have a cop-out, so I will go out and say it's Loki, another Loki. If it's Kang, that would be cool. I would be so thrilled with a new villain. Someone that, if they're going multiversal, they need someone that has the experience there. And for it to be another Loki, yes, the fans would be happy, but I don't think, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't think the scale of multiversal traversing would be as grand if it was Loki as opposed to Kang. That opens up a whole new world of problems for people, for our heroes. So that's what I hope it to be, but I think it would probably be another Loki. So yeah, let's get some theories in here, people. Like and subscribe if you like what I do. I'm not going to be a channel that has every week, this is going to come out on this day, this is going to come out on this day, this is going to come out on this day. This is a hobby for me. I would like this to grow. That would be great if I could do this full time. But since it is my hobby, it's going to come out whenever I can do it. Nobody has asked me. I'm not big enough for people to be like, when's the next episode of the guy that says dumb shit coming out? Gah! How dare he? I want to know what's up with the stuffed animals and why they were talking to him. You'll find that out, by the way. I'm not really me. I'm some other guy that thinks he's me. That's not me, but where the first me left. And you can figure it out. If you watch my episodes from the first time I did this with the Infinity Gauntlet, which I have, you can find out who is the real Steve. And it's not me. I'm not me? Oh my God, I'm not me!